Street Cred Manager. Today I want to talk about something slightly different. Welcome back. Today I want to talk about tips for active listening. You might have seen some of the posts that I put out this morning, and it all had to do with listening. One of the biggest issues that occur in organizations is because leaders don't listen. So let's learn to listen, okay? Here's a couple of tips. Before we start, I want to talk about my mom. My mom told me something when I was a really young boy, and it sticks with me until today. She basically said, you need to close your mouth, open your ears, and observe carefully. Because somewhere in between there is the answer you're looking for. No matter what it is, and I can apply that to just about anything and everything that I do. So I want to talk about listening from a management's perspective. Now, managers' days are really, really busy. They're jam-packed with one thing after another. And in between that, as a servant leader, you want to make sure that you're serving your team the best that they can. I've worked in really busy environments. And in some of these environments, what I find is that I struggle to catch up and talk with someone about their issues. Some organizations have KPIs that a manager has to do this at this time every month. I'm going to say your opportunity comes up every day to listen, to understand, to absorb, to take that in. So what are some of the tips? All right. One of the tips is when you're sitting down with someone, and this is how you become an effective listener. When you're sitting down with someone and they're talking to you about whatever that issue is, provide some non-verbal feedback. Non-verbal feedback, like nodding, facial expression, eye contact. Now, whichever one of these tips you start to do, just remember this, you can't fake this. If you fake this, it'll come across immediately and someone will know that you're not actually interested and you're doing this because so-and-so said do it. You have to want to do it. Non-verbal feedback. When you're listening, show that you're being attentive. Be there with them. Don't be 10 miles away. Don't let your mind stride. Just stay there with them, okay? Verbal feedback. You can say simple things like, I hear you. Thank you. You know what I find the best? When someone says, uh-huh. It's a funny thing, but that one term, uh-huh, shows the fact that you're listening, that you're there with them and you're present with them, okay? When you're listening to what this person's talking about, pay attention to the big picture. Very often, it's easy for us to get caught up in the details. Okay, you said that there, what was it about? There's a bigger reason why this person is approaching you, and there's a bigger reason why they want to have a conversation with you. Find out what their big picture is, find out what their big idea is, and what their big emotion is behind this entire conversation. Because by pinpointing that, you're now honing in and focusing directly on what this person is talking about. You know when people say, you get me? That's when you get them, okay? Stay on them. It's very easy to be distracted when you're having this conversation. Especially managers. You get a knock on the door. You get interrupted with 10 different things every day. But when you're having this conversation and you know it's an important conversation because your team needs to win. When they're winning, you're winning. Focus on them. Pay close attention to what they're talking about. Don't dominate the conversation. It's very easy to do that because people go on an automatic spin. They take over and all of a sudden, what do you hear? You hear somebody else talking. And the reality is, it's not what this person was asking for. This person was asking for a listening ear first. Okay? Be concise. During the conversation, be concise. There are going to be breaks in the conversation while this person is thinking or reflecting on what they're saying. Okay? During those times, add in 1 or 2 sentences that are pertinent to the conversation, that make sense to the conversation. Okay? Say something and then follow up with a question. Bring it back to their topic. This is their time. This is about them. Bring it back to the topic. 1 or 2 sentences about what they just mentioned. Maybe you need to clarify something. Bring it back. Okay, you were saying this. Take notes if you have to. I take notes all the time, especially if it's a complicated matter. You want to make sure that you're on the same page when you walk out of that room. It's crucial to the fact that you and the person you're talking to both walk out having gained something. Now, the sixth one is the most important one. Take action. Take action after the conversation, because there's going to be some action points that you walk out of the room with. At the end of that, follow up. Take action. Even if it's an email, a LinkedIn request. It could be whatever that action's going to be to show that person that you've listened and now you're taking what they said on board and moving forward. Do that. Follow these tips, and what it's going to create is that connection. That's what this whole talk is about you getting to that connection. Street Cred Manager, I'll speak to you soon. Have a great day.